You're watching On Air Podcast right here. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I was looking at something from the Planning Commission. Planning Commission, I was reading up on the opening statements of what the Planning Commission has. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. What I read, I was... we're sitting down this morning, and I was just going through a lot of things. I was going through a lot of notes as well, the old notes that I had written down, and I was reading, and I found this, and I was just open this out. मैले त्यो link पठाएको थिएँ हिजो हैन त्यो सबैजनालाई देखाऊ है. When I read this, Vishnu, to tell you the truth, I didn't see any. You know, whenever we read a story, it starts with once upon a time when we were young, and then it ends with everything was good. You know, things were great, you know. When I was reading this, or whenever I read a lot of things now, it starts with things are bad, and then it'll go down to things are going to be worse. I'll get taller down. Go down. Mazal taller down.
Introduction ma ho?
Introduction नै पढे हैन यो त हैन don't go that low. Babu, okay, preface. Okay. हैन अझ तल जाऊ है. इकोनोमीको कुरा आएछ कि हैन अझ तल ल है. Let me just exactly find it है. यो अझ तल भयो. अझ तल जाऊ अनि त्यसपछि बल्ल तिमीले भेट्छौ. ब्याकग्राउन्डमा हो के अरे है. Go a little bit down. हैन अनि अझ तल यो बडो लामो छ यो. मैले तिमीलाई त्यो स्क्रिनसटै पठाइदिनु पर्ने रहेछ मैले चाहिँ पढेको थिएँ. Okay, yeah, there you go. हैन. Yeah, so of course it gives a little bit of background of where we stand. ठ्याक्क एक्ज्याक्टली यहाँ बडो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि होइन नेपाली गुड्स युज टु बी एक्सपोर्टेड. नेपाली करेन्सी वाज रेकग्नाइज एन्ड वाज इन सर्कुलेसन इन तिब्बत एज वेल भनेर भनेको छ कि सर होइन. The excellence attained by Nepali arts and engineering during the Malla period hints that the education system of that time was practical and focused on skilled manpower. होइन यो अलि अगाडिकै कुरा छ कि यो होइन. अलिकति तल जाँदा भयो. Of course, about 1986 पछि the country fell behind in economic and social development due to political instability that followed the Court massacre in 1846. होइन. Of course, we talked about the Rana regime and a lot of things. 1951 पछि चाहिँ things got, you know, the structure was changed, things got better भनेर आएको छ होइन. Just stop 1 second है. In almost 3 decades long, party-less panchayat system भन्ने पनि conversation भएको छ यहाँ होइन. अलिकति तल आउँदा भयो. Now, this is the part that I was reading, Vishnu sir. होइन. The political environment and economic reform measures in the post-1990s had led to expansion of economic activities. The development, however, was not as expected due to the decade-long conflict. त्यो पनि ठिक छ. 2006 मा People's Movement भयो, which we all know. The Constitution of Nepal, of course, the agenda is good governance को कुरा अलिकति तल जाऊ त यो almost conclusion मा छौँ हामी यसको है. अलि तल जाऊ त. अलि तल. So यहाँ गएर पनि कतै न कतैबाट त्यो स्टेबिलिटीको कन्भर्सेसन हामीले जहिले पनि गर्छौँ सर होइन. But this whole thing in the past 30-40 years, when I look back on the first paragraph, we were considered as tiger economy, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day.
At that time, we were good.
At that time, our currencies of Ioni, we used to, our currency had so much value. And on today's date, where do we stand? When I was reading this, I don't know, what do you think? What really happened in 40-50 years that we got pushed back? When back in the day, we were like,
Simple. I'm saying we were not able to keep pace with the world, let me tell you. The way everybody was growing, the way our neighbors were growing, instead of taking advantage of those things, somehow we got left behind. We could not envisage the opportunities. We could not harness them. We actually got little bit sidelined or something like that. Otherwise, we were really a happening economy. When I was studying in schools, that was school, let's say, everybody wanted to come to Nepal. It was such an exotic destination for them. And it was a matter of, it still is, but at that time, everybody used to say he's from Nepal. That kind of special focus I was having at that time. But somehow, over a period of time, we lost that maybe the economic agenda. We were not able to capitalize on the our past or whatever best that we were having. We were, although I'm say our per capita income has increased, but somehow, matlab, opportunity we have not been able to harness. Or the crux of the matter is that the way the other countries have been able to develop themselves over especially our neighbors, we were not able to keep pace with them.
I was reading up on the per capita income too, and we were somewhere along 1200, if I'm not mistaken. अनि मैले हेरेँ कि सर होइन हामी कुन कुन देशसँग चाहिँ पर्दो रहेछ भनेर म यसो हेर्दै थिएँ कि अनि I was just like, okay, यहाँ रहेछौँ हामी भनेर. But back in the day, we were like
quite ahead.
So ahead. And the fallback kept on happening. And now today, when I hear that, when you say, sir, that it's so slow that I've never seen in my life, I think bottom pugisakyo hami कि bottom पुग्न अझ बाँकी छ.
Don't tell, there is still bottom from here. Yeah.
There's nothing to do except laugh about it. So this is the bottom. This is.
I think we have to now go ahead only. There would be positiveness only, and I'm great advocate of I'm optimism, and I'm optimistic that things are going to improve in future.
So उच्च ब्याज दर भनेको यही नै हो हैन यहाँ यतिसम्मै लिमिट होला एक हिसाबले.
I feel that in next 3-4 months the interest should come down. Interest should come down. Availability of finance is now much better than what it was before. Sentiments should improve, but steps needs to be taken.
What, of course, you're in touch with everybody in the ministry. Well, I'm sure there's not a single person that you haven't met. So what is the thought process of, okay, of course, I can talk about all the sides of the ministry itself. I can go towards the Rashtra Bank, I can head on towards the ministry itself, finance ministry itself. What's the thought process of the ministries at the moment? Let's start with the finance ministry. What's their thought process now? We have a new minister who's recently come in, so what's the thought process?
It would be very difficult to tell exact thought process, what they are looking at, how they are looking at, because it has only been 3-4 days. But one thing is for sure, there is a awareness about the issues which we are facing presently. I'm industrialists and business people are facing. That awareness is there. And there is a thought process that something has to be done. You must have seen even our Honorable Prime Minister making those kind of statements that we need to do something in the economy. So that kind of things are there. And from CNI also we are doing a lot of things in order to, we are giving from our side suggestions along with data and everything. And what needs to be done, we have been telling them on continuous basis. I think we should improve. There is no doubt to this thing.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जोय गर्नुभयो होला. अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला. This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.